Hi, so this is Archie's Cabin, where I talk to you about life and lessons from life that we can pick up from everyday stuff. I've got a wee series going there on lessons from the dry cleaners. I help out in the dry cleaners and lessons there. And here's some lessons from the garage and the barn and all that kind of stuff, just my life. This is my Aston Martin. I was talking to you in the previous video about the fact that this car has tons of power. I mean, a V12, 6 point something litre engine, 6 litre engine anyway, and it's at 320 or 30 kilometres an hour it will go. It can go so fast, it's acceleration, all the guys, you'll appreciate that acceleration that would, like a motorbike. I used to drive motorbikes. This car reminds me of motorbikes. The point is it's a wee bit too fast for any purpose because it gets you to too high a speed too soon and you're going to go to jail or kill somebody. So this car, I have this car as an investment. I didn't buy it to drive around the streets, right? I've got another car, I drive a truck most of the time, 12, 13-year-old truck, and I quite like it. It's actually more fun than this is because if I crash it, it's no worry. If I crash or scratch this, oh my goodness, pains. The point I was making in the previous video was many of us are like this car and me. I have loads of power that I never use. The Christian can be like that, filled with God's Spirit, the power of God inside them, yet weak and frail and never use that power. When difficulties come, they collapse, phone their friend, call the pastor, go to pieces. None of us take the strength like we ought to that God has given us in His Holy Spirit. You can exercise it. You can get it today. Just ask. God will give you His Spirit. I am not a Pentecostal. I'm a Baptist pastor, ordinary Baptist pastor, but I have seen God change lives when they sought His Spirit to fill them and give them what they require to live. Don't leave the power of God dormant in your life. You're going to look back on years thinking, my goodness, what did I miss? Churches are like that. They struggle and strive to win people for Jesus on their own strength, not relying on the power of God. It's another wee lesson today about this car. Not only is this car does it sit here forever, but I'll tell you what happens when you don't use things. I'm going to turn this camera around and, we'll just walk over, We'll just walk over and look at the bonnet, I think you'll be able to see that. Maybe if we go around here, you'll see better. If you've got good eyes and this camera is helping me, you'll discover that this car is covered in dust. Do you see that? Dust. Look at that. Dust. Because I have left it all over the autumn and through the winter even, but not so much the winter, but the autumn and the summer. The dust on it will have a gravel driveway. Canadians know all about gravel driveways. My gravel driveway, half of the driveway comes in here when my wife brings her truck in. This car is covered in dust. Do you know, it's no use. It's not going to impress anybody like that. It can be the most powerful or the most beautiful shape, but if it's covered in dust, it'll not make anybody go wow. I'm not worried about them going wow. But if your life's the same, if you don't keep it clean, if you don't keep short accounts with God, that is, if you're not conscious that as you walk through life, you pick up dust, the dust of this world, which is absolutely unclean in every sense of the word. You pick up that dust and it destroys the glow, the shine. You need to come back to the Lord daily, maybe more than once a day. Lord, would you cleanse me? Would you fill me again with your Spirit and make me shine like a bright light for Jesus? Have you ever seen headlights that were mucky? I bought a Porsche, an old Porsche, and the headlights, you couldn't see the bulbs in them. It took me 3 hours I spent with cleaners and stuff, and I cleaned the glass of these headlights, and when I finished, it was like a new car, like new car. The whole car looked better with its eyes bright and shiny. You've got to keep clean. In the modern church, we don't talk about cleanliness a lot, but God talks about it a lot, and He expects us to be clean. And sometimes we don't even realise how dirty we are. Do you know the only reason you can see, if you can, the dust on this car is when I take it off. Then you go, oh my goodness, see this? Look at that. This car looks grey. It's actually midnight blue. Okay? That's what happens to your life when you don't keep it clean. I'm going to be quite radical here, and you can see what I'm talking about any minute now. How about, no, you can't see it for the reflect. I'm trying to be clever here. Can you see that? Dust, it says. Dust. Don't let your life be dusty. Keep it clean, sparkling, shiny. Tell you something that's like dust on a car, on a person. Complaining. Complaining's like dust. Being a moaner. I had a friend, every time we asked them, how are you today? We were sorry we had asked, because they told you. They were miserable. It's like they didn't clean off the dust of yesterday, or the day before, or the decade before. They carried all the dust of the day with them. All the muck of the world stuck to them, all the muck of their life, or somebody else's life. Very often it's somebody else that produces the dust in our life, and the storms, the dust storms in our life. Doesn't matter where it comes from. It's got to go, okay? There it is. It's got to go. The Lord bless you. This is Archie's cabin. We're getting a bit closer to my cabin. It's just across the road, across the garden there. And I'll eventually be back there doing these videos in my cabin. But this is, nevertheless, my YouTube channel called Archie's Channel. I hope you'll come back. I'll give you some more shots of the Aston, show you about it a bit more. I'm about to learn some things about it, and I'll maybe even take you for a drive in it someday, okay? Let you hear the sound of the engine. That's what guys seem to like. I like silent cars. Anyway, the Lord bless you and keep you clean this week. Take care. Bye-bye.